check to check. If we buying $300,000 watches, homes, and everywhere, we check
That's why
to
you got to
check.
keep working.
That's why you got to keep working.
Everybody is so rich, and why they fucking still working?
No,
You
no,
gotta
no,
fucking work.
no.
Yeah,
You got kids in college. You got all type of
shit
fucking
going on. Yeah,
mortgages. You got car notes. You got shit like.
they don't stop. The bills don't stop.
The bills keep coming. I don't care.
The bills is coming now.
The bills is coming now. The train is coming. And so what happens is, I don't care how much money we make. It's almost like shampoo. The shit just slipped through your fingers. I'm not safe. No, I'm keeping it real with you. I am not safe with no amount of money. You don't know how many times I made $1 million and that shit was gone in like a month or two. And it's just regular shit. Yo, pay the lawyer, pay your insurance, pay this.
Repeat process.
Just this, that. And then you turn around and it's like, yo, where's the bread? Yo, bro. You know, Louis Vuitton ain't cheap, bro. All that shit you doing out here looking cute, it ain't cheap. And so there's always a check to check. I don't care how much money you make.
YouTube, what's good with it? Checking in with another video. Today I'm doing a reaction video. Fat Joe, him and Jadakiss podcast. He's saying that why rappers are pretty much broke and live check to check. Let's get straight to it. So I know everybody got that facade of being a rapper and living the limelight, the girls, the cars, the jewelry, you know what I'm saying, you dig. But rapping is probably the most expensive thing you can do for a fact. And I'll break it down because you gotta think about it. Let's say you do blow up and you know what I'm saying, you 18, 17, 21, 22, 23, you blow up and you just, you know what I'm saying, you on one now. You got a hit song and now the record label's coming at your door. First of all, them record labels coming at your door, that's practically a loan in front of your face. So they gonna sign you, you know what I'm saying, give you $1 million, they pull up, Gotti pull up, or Empire pull up, you know what I'm saying, they pull up, especially when you sign with them real street dudes, the money bag pull up and they pull up with some bottles, you know, they connected, they got the desire for you, they got 500 bands on a track hawk right there, you know what I'm saying, it's all you. That's all you right there. And you ain't even reading the contract. You just, yeah, everybody in the background like, yeah, we made it. You know what it is. Yeah, we, you know what I'm saying? Wherever you from, you know, they sounding out like, you know what I'm saying? West Side, Houston, you know what I'm saying? But they live. And you don't even read the contract. You just, all right, bet 500,000 track hawk right there. It's up. You know what I'm saying? Most people, you ain't finna get no lawyer to tell them, hey, bag, I respect what you're saying, but let me just check. You don't even want to check him like that because you feel like he gonna be like, nah, I don't need the contract no more. It's good. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't getting no lawyer. Your lawyer's supposed to look over it. You know, they already cost 10 bands and you coming in the game with what? You playing with what, 20 bands, 20,000? You ain't really got no money, but you got that hit. So you come in the game, 20,000, you know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to pay for no lawyer, so you just sign a deal. Now off the back, you straight in the hole already. You 500,000 plus the amount of the track hawk. So you 675,000 in the hole already. Not alone the interest they put on that loan. See, you didn't read the contract, buddy. There's a 23% interest on this loan. Or even let's say Gotti look out for you, whoever it is, sign you look out for you. Most of it is 15 to 30% off the rip. They trying to tax. 10% if you just lucky. 15 you just super lucky, you know what I'm saying? You on some 21 Savage, you just blow independently before you even get the deal. But if you ain't got your no buzz and you just blew up out of nowhere, bro, your interest rate is gonna be 35%, 30%. 30% of the 500,000 plus the track hawk. Dog. That's 180,000 added on top of the interest that you got for the loan, added on top of the principal. So you really in the hole for 800,000. Nah, we not even getting to it. So you just got signed, you lit, you got that 800, you got that 600, 500,000, you know what I'm saying, you got that track hawk, you lit. You want to look like all the rappers and stuff. You want to, you know what I'm saying, get your rap starter kick. Now you going to Johnny Dang. You going to Eliante. You going to Icebox. You know you gotta get your ice. Spinning chain, buy a quick chain, you know what I'm saying? Buy a chain and buy a Rollie, buy a Cartier, whatever the rap starter kit you want to get. That's 30 bands. 40 bands. So now you 850 bands in a hole, 840 bands in a hole. Let's keep it going. That's just the ice. So now you got to get your car, you know what I'm saying? Or shoot, you already got the car, you know what I'm saying? So you good. Now you got to get that house. You got to rent the townhouse. You got to rent the penthouse, you know what I'm saying? You got to flex. So you paying rent on that. You for sure paying, that's 5 bands a month off for a penthouse or something like that. Or, you know what I'm saying, depending where you at. If you in the south, up north, you know, it just can depend. But that's 30 what? That's at least 5 to 8 bands a month. So that's 60,000 a year. So let's just add another 60,000 to your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Now you at 900,000. You know what I'm saying? Your label, they, you know what I'm saying? They see you working, they see you getting it in, and now you get a manager. They have to give you a manager. So your manager taking a percentage of what you making. So your manager, somebody give him a call and let him know like, hey, we trying to book him for a feature. We trying to book him for that. Your manager get a percentage on top of that, and your label get a percentage on top of that. So let's not forget, since you signed to a label, let's say you signed to Bag. Bag is paying for your Bread Gang paying for your studio time, or QC. They paying for your studio time. So all them engineers, all them beats you getting that you just think you just rapping on, bro, that stuff is adding up. Especially if they linking you with these big time producers, the Take Heaps, the shit, man, if they linking you with them top notch producers, bro, they linking you up with Zaytoven, they linking you up with Pharrell, or even if let's not even say they just super big major beats or big major producers. Even the mid major ones, they gon', you know what I'm saying, they cost, bro. They cost some pay. So already you still at 900,000. Let's say the studio time, you got to go to the studio. You recording, you getting your music out there. You at least got to spend each studio station with the high producers and the high engineers involved. Them studio sessions at least 200 an hour. That's on the low side, 200 an hour. And let's say you in there, you treat it like a 9 to 5. You in there 30 hours a week, 25 hours a week, 40 hours a week. Dog, just like that, man. You at 5 bands a week. 5 bands a week. The label not telling you that. You don't know that. You just see it on your receipt at the end of the contract. So you at 5 bands a week. Mind you, you haven't even dropped your album yet. You haven't even dropped your mixtape. This is you just getting ready, getting everything prepared. So you at 5,000 a week at studio time with engineers, producers, all that. We just gonna add it up. 5 bands a week. That's already 200,000 a year. So out of that, so now instead of at 940,000 or 900,000, let's just add 250,000 of that. Twin, you at 1.1. You at 1.2 mil. You at 1.2 mil. So now you at 1.2 mil. You got your album rolled out. You're ready. Now they got to pay for the marketing. They got to pay for you to go on the radio. They got to pay for you to go to Breakfast Club. They got to pay for you to go on Baddies like Gloss Up like QC did. They got to pay for you to go on this show. They got to pay for you to go to Love and Hip Hop. So with that being said, they still got to pay for the marketing. Let's say the marketing for the album, you trying to do the album big. It's your first debut album, you know, because they're setting you up. They're setting you up to play you. It's your first debut album. You just ready. You know what I'm saying? You trying to pop it off. You trying to get it in. You like, bet I'm finna turn up with this album. We finna at least sell 100,000 records or 50,000. Let's say you like, we finna sell 50,000 solid records. We good. Now let's say out of all the marketing and everything, they have to spend 400,000 for you in marketing. That includes the billboard. That includes the radio shows. That includes putting the song on a radio station. Because you put your song on a radio station, you need 250,000 easily. 250,000. You know what it is. Unless you go to like them low market cities, but hey, it's still gonna be 100. So let's say they spent 400,000 you for your marketing. Now you at 1.5. You at 1.5 mil, twin. You know what I'm saying? So you at 1.5 mil, and this is with the promotion. This is with everything, and you haven't even went shopping yet. You ain't got the drip, so you got to do these photo shoots. You go into these radio stations, you got to look clean. You finna be on baddies. You got to look good. Girl, you got to look, you know what I'm saying? You got to look good, or you got to have your hair done. If you're a female rapper or you're a female artist, you got to have this, and you got to have your ice, you got to have everything. So let's say your shopping budget in a year, so you spend another $200,000 on that. You know what I'm saying? You got it. Now you at 1.7 mil. You get what I'm saying? So you still doing it, and let's say you getting booked for the shows, you all this stuff you doing. It's a lot of work. You got to go to the radio station. I said you got to go to baddies. You got to stay up, fight them females, or whatever show you got to go on as a man. You got to go on Love and Hip Hop, get into beefs, and you know what I'm saying. Do all this extra stuff. Go to the radio station. Go to the photo shoots. You got to do drops for other artists. You doing features. And let's say you're doing all this, and you only getting 4 hours of sleep a day, 3 hours of sleep a day, 5 hours of sleep at max. You on the road, you doing shows, bro. You're not getting no sleep, so you gotta cope to something to keep you up. And you cope on the drugs, you cope on the narcotics, you coping on the lean, the pills, or let's just say you keeping it you know what I'm saying, the gas. You just keeping it za. You know that stuff costs, you know and you can say some people might give you free. You know what I'm saying? They might give you some free gas for the distro or whatever, you know what I'm saying, if you shot them out. Yeah, sometimes they do that. But let's say you spend $50,000 on gas in a year. That's nothing slight, just some chill stuff. You and your partners, you got an entourage now, because you ain't just make it by yourself. You got a team, you have some friends with you that you trying to bring to the top. You got to spend money on their habits. They gonna want the ice too. They gonna want the clothes too. So you give your partners shit. They see you sign a deal, they see bag pull up. So you give your partners, you like, here man, I'm gonna throw y'all 50 ball. You give him a 50 ball, 50,000 each. You got 3 partners, you give him 50 ball. Son, you at 2 mil right now. You at 2 mil, bro. Y'all gotta go to the restaurants. Y'all gotta go to the eat steak and shrimp. Y'all gotta go to the steak 48s. Y'all gotta go to the Roof Chris. You know, you gotta go all the lit spots. You feel me? And I get it. I ain't tripping. I ain't stunning you. So you do that. That's another 50,000 on just expenses in a year, and you paying for your partner sometimes. So we gonna add another 100,000. Like I said, to when you at 2 mil right now, $2 million, and your album hasn't even came out. Now it's time to debut your album. You ready? It's time to debut your album. You up? You went on all the radio stations. You ready? You lit? Your album sell 30,000 first week. You sell 30,000 first week, and 30,000 first week is basically you have 40 million streams. 40 million streams, right? Each stream you get $0.006 for each stream. This ain't the 90s with Fat Joe and Jadakiss where they was buying CDs outside the store and they was seeing their money. No. You get .006. And I'm not speaking for back then. I'm speaking for our generation because I know how it is. We got Instagram. We got all that stuff, bro. If you ain't popping it, you not it. So you get .006 per stream. You made your label back 240,000 stream-wise. And let's say you was doing shows. You getting booked $15K a show. You do at least 5 shows a month. That's let's say you make 400,000 off shows in a month, right? I mean 400,000 off shows in a year if you're doing 5 shows a month, or you're doing 10 shows a month. We can say you're doing more. Let's say you make 800,000 a year off shows that year because you lit, you high, you getting 15K a show. Like I said, you make 800,000 that year. So out of that 800,000, you give back your label the 800,000. So you basically, you only in the hole for right now since you gave him the 800,000. You gave him the album sales. You in the hole for $1 million right now. So you in the hole for $1 million. So now what you got to do is the label sees that you in the hole for $1 million, and they see you did your album. They see that everything went lit. It went good. They want to recoup you. They want to have you drop another album. They like the way the success happened. This is how they get you. They give you another advance. They say, you know what? Your album did good. We're going to give you $2 million advance. Now, instead of you being $1 million in the hole, now you $3 million in the hole. Let's say you repeat that process again, you do the shows, you do the album, but this time your album sell 50,000 first week. 50,000 first week. That's 75 million streams. And we do the math again, times the 0.006. You made 450,000 on your off your album, and also the shows. Let's say instead you're charging 15, you charge